Happy Wednesday. How's everybody doing? I I wanted to get on and just create a little video for you because I've been so busy lately and I have not been great at creating my videos. So here I am back in the saddle doing something great. So today I'm just taking some leftover chicken. I'll tell you a story about that in a second. And I'm going to turn it into chicken quesadillas for us for dinner, repurposing the chicken. But I've been really busy doing some training at home online the past few days. And so yesterday I had this training and it was a holiday here in Nova Scotia. It was Remembrance Day. And it's not a holiday everywhere in the country, but in Nova Scotia it is. And so Billy was home and I was training, which was unfortunate, but he said he would make dinner. So I consulted, I'm not going to lie, I did consult, but he was in charge and he made dinner and he roasted this beautiful chicken with some carrots, potatoes, onions underneath and made just the most wonderful dinner. And when I was done all my training, I came upstairs and dinner was ready and oh, look, I ate some of the chicken and it was amazing. So I'm repurposing the leftover chicken and I'm going to turn it into chicken quesadillas. But I wanted to reach out and talk to you about how intentional you are about spending time with your partner. And it's not unusual for people to say, well, you know, we go out on a date once a month. You know, we go out and, I talk about the chef's kiss and that's sort of my thing that I want to really encourage people to do is the date night cooking class. But on a smaller scale, you have people who say, we go out once a month and that's our thing. And it's like, great. So you go out once a month and that's lovely. The chef's cooking class, the chef's kiss cooking class is once a month. But the problem is that if all you do is this one date night a month, and every other day you are not intentional, you are not making an effort to connect with your partner, you're not doing the little things that make you thrive as a couple, then that one date night is a waste of time. I'm going to be honest with you, because you can't neglect your relationship all month. And then, I'm going to give you an example of this. You can't neglect your relationship day to day all month and then all of a sudden one date expect everything to be perfect, because that's just not the way it works. Now, I have a rosemary plant. I have a hilarious history with my rosemary. Every year I buy a rosemary plant, I kill it, and then next year I buy a new one, because I have rosemary in France and it grows with reckless abandon. And I just thought that was how rosemary grows. But in actual fact, in our climate, that's not how it grows. It needs to be brown inside. So this year, I set a reminder on my phone and I said, I'm going to bring my rosemary in and grow it inside and it's going to thrive. And I brought it inside and it's not yet dead, but I can tell you, I neglect it and only water it about once a month. So I don't know how long it will survive. It'll limp along for a while and then probably just die. And next year I'll buy a new one. my pattern has stayed intact, even though I've changed things around a little bit. So, but the point of it is that I can't neglect it week in, week out, never feed it, never nourish it, never do anything for it and expect it to be amazing, because that's not how things work, living, breathing things. And your relationship is a living, breathing thing. So having a date night out, going to dinner or cooking at home with your partner, which is wonderful, all of these things are great, but they're not enough on their own. They have to be sort of the latest in a pattern of behavior that brings you closer together all the time, not just once a month. So if you're guilty of that, hey, let's go out once a month and everything will be perfect mentality, then I'm going to tell you, you don't expect a lot, because it's in little things. And the rituals, every day, it doesn't have to be a big grand gesture. It can be as simple as putting your phone down and saying, hey, how was your day at work? You know, did you get that contract you were bidding on? Did that shipment show up that you're waiting for? Whatever it is, it's communicating. So if you take those few minutes at the end of the day to communicate with your partner, have a genuine conversation. I'm not saying, how's your day? Fine. How's your day? Fine. And I can tell you, Billy does this with me. I ask him about how it worked and, any exciting things happening in the office or what was so-and-so doing. And he'll say, but how was your day? And I'll say, fine. And that's enough for him. Right. And I'm like, okay, you're not really taking an interest. But he does so many other things, like make an amazing dinner for me. So you have to have it more than just the basic, hey, we go on one date a month. And you know what? Maybe if you go on one date a week, then that's different too. That's better. But try and find something small every day that you can do to connect. And maybe it's the 3-minute hug. And I've challenged my clients to do the 3-minute hug before, and they've said, man, that's a long time. And it is. But once you get past, you take your partner into your arms and you sort of, and you're there and you relax into them and you feel their energy. And then after a little bit, it's like, okay, and this is kind of going on. What are we going to do? And then it shifts again into a real exchange of energy and sharing that space and sharing that moment. And it can be really, really beautiful and connecting. So try the 5-minute hug. Increase your quality of conversation at the end of the day. Quality is key here. It doesn't have to be long. It just has to be good quality. And, try something simple like walking at the end of the day, walking out to the end of the driveway, just the two of you. Hold hands because you want that physical connection. Hold hands, walk to the end of the driveway and walk back. You'd be surprised what little bit of connection that will give you. I mean, unless your driveway is 20 feet long, and then you might have to do it a couple times. You might want to go around the block. But taking that time, holding hands, right? And not everybody's a hand holder, but that just for a very short period of time, that's not a lot to ask of someone. Hold their hands, walk, like 5 minutes, 3 minutes total, walk down to the end of the driveway, walk back, holding hands, and have that little bit of connection. It's amazing. You'd be so surprised at what a difference it makes. And then you get the most out of the bigger things like the date night cooking classes or the date nights together, not necessarily cooking classes, although of course I would like you to be in my date night cooking classes, but those date nights together. Or when you travel, that's another big thing is people, if they travel together, they think this is going to solve all our problems. And again, you're disconnected before you travel. You're not going to magically connect while you travel. But you can improve that connection if you're intentional while you travel. And then when you have those moments of connection, you promise yourself that you're going to keep doing them when you get home. That makes a big difference. And I've created the Chef's Table couples retreats in Europe that I've just started doing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about those because I think they're going to be so much fun. There's a choice between the south of, Italy, northern Italy, it's south of France, or Burgundy. And I'm doing a 1-on-2 couples with just one couple, and it's 5 days. Choose Italy or France, and we'll do markets, we'll do wine tasting, we'll see some amazing local things without the big touristy bits, right? That's going to be so much fun. Or the other option is a group one. So that's a maximum of 3 couples. And that's for 3 days. And again, we'll do markets and everything. But the best part is that you will be in your own space. And I'll be staying somewhere else, but you'll be in your own space to relax and connect. We'll do a little bit of connection work, a little bit of talking about relationships and how we can make the most of our relationships. And I will do a cooking class and create an amazing dinner for you every night. So it's really having your own chef taking you on a personal tour of these areas and seeing amazing things, but the things that aren't necessarily going to be crowded with tourists, that aren't in the tourist books, but you get the real local flavor. So I'm really excited about that. If you're interested in that, send me a DM or make a comment and I'll send you an invitation. But the important thing is that we have to connect with our partners on a regular basis. You can't neglect them all month long and then have one date and expect it's going to solve everything. Take time every day, little bits. If you're on your phone scrolling, put the phone down, focus on your partner. If you can't do that for 3 minutes a day, then maybe you shouldn't even be in a relationship. I probably shouldn't say that, I'm sorry, but if you can't take 3 minutes a day for your partner, then you've got some other serious issues you need to think about. So I don't think you do. I think you've got the 3 minutes, so let's do this together. I am happy to help you in any way I can.